You know what's interesting? Many women believe they know how to kiss a man. Yet if you ask most men privately, only a few women have ever made them feel something deeper than a simple spark. The truth is, men aren't particularly hard to excite. But making a man completely lose control, making him crave you long after you've left, is an entirely different skill. And it begins with understanding 3 key spots on his body that trigger not just pleasure, but emotional surrender before you think. I already know where those are, let me clarify. You don't. They aren't where most people expect. Master these spots, and he'll never forget the way you touch him, no matter how many women he encounters afterward. Here's where many women go wrong. They confuse being sexy with being strategic. They assume kissing is all about passion and spontaneity. It isn't. It's about rhythm, anticipation, and connection. The right kiss, in the right spot with the right intention, can make a man's whole body weaken. I used to believe kissing was just about chemistry, some magical click you can't explain. But after years coaching women in relationships, I've learned that chemistry can actually be created. It's built gradually through energy, timing, and focus. Today, I want to share 3 spots that activate a man's neurological and emotional triggers simultaneously. When you touch both his body and his ego correctly, you create a mental loop that makes him think, I want more of her. Think about it. Have you ever kissed a man and felt him tense? Like he's interested but not completely melted? That's likely because you stuck to the predictable areas, lips, neck, maybe chest. He enjoys it, sure, but his brain isn't surprised. There's no signal saying, this woman is different. Men crave novelty as much as validation. What drives him wild isn't just how you kiss, it's where and why. Here's the secret many women never learn. Men have pleasure receptors that connect not only to erogenous zones, but also to pride, safety, and surrender. Finding spots that stimulate both physical and psychological responses transforms you from just another lover into someone who rewires his nervous system. That's the power of these 3 kissing spots. But before we dive in, understand the emotional foundation. Many women think men seek control. The truth is, the right man wants to trust you enough to let go. You don't achieve this through dominance. You do it by being present. Your touch communicates, you're safe with me. You can let go. That's what excites him beyond logic. That's what creates obsession. For a man, surrender is ultimate vulnerability, and the woman who guides him there becomes unforgettable. I'm not sharing tricks or shallow tactics. This isn't manipulation. It's about understanding his biology and psychology, the science of touch, and the emotion of connection. Kissing certain areas activates his nervous system, releasing dopamine and oxytocin, the same hormones that create pleasure, trust, and bonding. That's why these 3 spots are so potent. They don't just feel good, they link you to comfort and euphoria. Here's what many women overlook. The kiss that drives him wild doesn't begin with your lips. It starts with intention. Touch him with curiosity. Pause just long enough for him to anticipate what's next. Hover your breath close without landing yet. That psychological pause builds desire. Sometimes, the first 3 seconds of hesitation are more powerful than the kiss itself. That's what triggers the mind-body loop of obsession. I'll admit, I used to get this wrong. I thought passion meant going fast, showing enthusiasm, proving interest. But men don't remember the woman who rushes. They remember the one who slows time, who kisses like she's exploring, not performing. That signals she's not trying to impress me, she's feeling me. Before I reveal the 3 hidden spots, keep one thought in mind. The goal isn't to simply turn him on, it's to turn him inward. You want him to feel something so profound that his mind stops and his heart takes over. The aim is to bring him to a state where desire and devotion feel inseparable. If you've ever wanted to be the woman who lingers in his mind long after the moment ends, stay with me. In the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly where these spots are, how to touch them, and why they work on levels most people never even consider. Many women underestimate the power of the area behind a man's ear. It's small, subtle, yet one of the most neurologically sensitive zones on his body. The skin is thin, packed with nerve endings, and sits just above branches of the vagus nerve, the same nerve that calms the body and enhances intimacy. Touching or kissing this spot properly doesn't just stimulate physically. It communicates something far more intimate: safety, focus, and complete attention. What makes this area so powerful isn't just pleasure, it's trust. Moving close to his ear places you in his private space, his personal frequency. His body unconsciously monitors this space for safety, emotional cues, and closeness. When your breath brushes his skin, his nervous system senses connection, familiarity, and safety. That's why he may shiver, pause mid-breath, or tilt his head. His brain is processing a mix of arousal and emotional surrender. Here's how to approach it correctly. Don't rush. Never go straight for it. Build the experience gradually. Start by speaking softly near his ear, teasing words, a whisper of his name, without touching. Let your breath graze the edge of his jaw. If he leans in, move slowly to the curve behind his ear and pause. This silence allows tension to build and shifts his focus from thought to sensation. Then lightly kiss the skin just beneath the bone curve where his neck meets his skull. Apply minimal pressure, just warmth and breath. Hold slightly longer than natural, then pull back. Don't return immediately. Let him mentally chase that sensation. This is emotional pacing, the art of giving just enough to create desire without overwhelming. You train his nervous system to crave your restraint. Master this balance, and he will associate your presence with anticipation, not completion, making it far more compelling. Men are wired for control. Their world thrives on logic and momentum, but intentional, gentle stillness disrupts that pattern. Behind the ear is where you trigger that shift, from control to surrender. Even the most confident man wants to feel safe enough to let go. By kissing this spot, you're giving permission to stop performing, to just be, and that feeling is rare. There's also a primal aspect. Evolutionarily, this area senses warmth, breath, and pheromones, markers of intimacy and trust. A kiss here floods his body with oxytocin and dopamine, strengthening emotional attachment. That's why he instinctively draws you closer after a lingering kiss. It's not mere lust. His brain seeks comfort and connection. How you leave the moment matters as much as how you enter it. After kissing behind the ear, linger briefly, let your lips hover, exhaling slowly. This signals ongoing connection, then move away without eye contact. Allow him to initiate the next step. In that moment, he isn't thinking about what's next. He's focused on you. The power of this spot lies in its emotional message. I see the part of you that's hidden and protected. Feeling recognized at that level goes beyond desire. He feels truly known, a connection most men never experience. And it starts with something as simple as a gentle kiss behind the ear. Mindset is key. This isn't about following a technique. If you focus on steps, you'll miss the moment. True magic comes from presence, listening to his breathing, sensing shifts in his body, and trusting your intuition. The most impactful kiss doesn't feel planned. It feels discovered. When he senses discovery instead of execution, he melts every single time. Next time you're close and tempted to go straight for the lips or neck, pause. Hover. Let your lips explore the subtle curve behind his ear. Allow the silence to stretch and the tension to build. When you finally touch him there, do it as if you're communicating something only his body can understand. That's how the unraveling begins, and that's how you captivate him completely. Many women underestimate the intimacy of a man's wrist. It's constantly visible, but rarely touched intentionally, which makes it incredibly powerful. The inside of the wrist is rich, with sensory nerve endings that connect directly to the pathways, regulating heart rate and arousal. Touching or kissing this area taps into the rhythm of his heartbeat, the pulse that signals to his brain, you are alive, you are desired, you are seen. The beauty of the wrist lies in its subtlety. It's not an overtly sexual move, it's gentle, disarming, almost innocent. That subtlety is what makes it unforgettable. You're entering his world through tenderness, not force. Start small. Perhaps you're sitting across from him at dinner, laughing and maintaining eye contact. In one smooth, natural motion, reach for his hand. Don't grip it. Just tilt his palm upward and trace your fingertips along the soft skin where his wrist meets his hand. There you'll feel his pulse flutter, his body's involuntary confession of feeling. Let your thumb glide in lazy circles as you speak, anchoring your connection without words. When you bring your lips to kiss the wrist slowly and deliberately, it sends a direct signal to his nervous system. His body interprets it as a combination of safety and anticipation, the same physiological response triggered when adrenaline and oxytocin interact. He feels excitement and calm simultaneously, arousal and groundedness. This duality keeps men drawn in. They seek both pleasure and peace, and you become the source of both. The wrist works because it's unexpected. Every man has experienced kisses on the neck or chest, but the wrist conveys a different message: attention to detail. This is what penetrates emotional defenses. You're not treating him as a performance. You're exploring him, carefully studying him. No one forgets someone who does that. The technique is simple, but requires patience. Don't rush. Hover your lips above the wrist until your breath warms the skin. Observe his response. If he tenses, pause slightly. If he relaxes or exhales, that's your cue. Then place a soft, deliberate kiss on the pulse, holding it for a few seconds to let your breath merge with his. When you pull away, do so intentionally, as though you've taken something from him without his realizing. That subtle withdrawal creates desire, setting the stage for a feedback loop of attention and anticipation. As Hussey notes, attraction thrives in contrast, the balance between closeness and distance. The wrist kiss captures this perfectly. It's the ultimate delicate push-pull, created through stillness and timing. Afterward, let the silence linger. Perhaps smile knowingly. You've just triggered a sensory memory that will replay later when he's alone, recalling the feeling of your touch. This isn't manipulation. It's imprinting. His body will remember the softness, even if his mind forgets the details. The wrist kiss is potent not only physically, but symbolically. The wrist is where we take our pulse, where life feels most tangible. By kissing it, you acknowledge his aliveness. You communicate, I see you. I feel you. You matter to me. For men, that recognition is magnetic because it rarely comes beyond strength or confidence. This type of gentle attention bypasses his defenses. It signals that he doesn't need to perform, he only needs to be. Here's a subtle technique to enhance that effect. After a kiss, lightly trace the same spot with your fingertip in a small spiral. Keep your eyes elsewhere. Continue talking, laughing, and acting naturally. The contrast between your casual demeanor and the intimate gesture creates a mild, delightful confusion. He won't know whether to pull closer or hold back. That's the goal, a quiet, simmering tension. Desire doesn't shout. It hums beneath the surface. When you learn to navigate that subtle hum, you control the emotional rhythm of your interactions. This isn't about dominance. It's about presence. When your energy communicates, "I'm fully here with you," his defenses relax. When your touch says, "I notice you," his heart softens. A simple wrist kiss carries a profound emotional message. I choose you in this moment. That's something many men long for quietly. So next time you're close enough to touch his hand, resist the obvious. Let your fingers drift to his wrist, feel the pulse beneath your skin, and kiss it as though sharing a secret. Then pull away slightly and observe him lean towards you without even realizing it. That's the subtle power that can make him lose himself. One heartbeat at a time, there's a part of a man's body few notice. Yet it's highly vulnerable and emotionally charged, the small of his back, where his spine curves into the waistline. This area holds quiet tension, strength and control, qualities men carry every day. When you touch or kiss this spot, you're not only providing physical pleasure, you're giving him permission to release what he's been holding. It's psychological as well as physical. The lower back sits at the intersection of protection and surrender, where stress accumulates and emotional softness is hidden. A touch or kiss here bypasses logic, speaking directly to the part of him that craves trust, rest, and belonging. Most women overlook it, brushing past it casually, unaware of its power. But intentional attention here transforms everything. Picture standing behind him while he's engaged in a routine task, maybe in the kitchen or reaching for something. Step close so your body aligns with his. Place your hand gently on that curve of his back, not pressing, just resting. This is connection, not control. He feels your presence as grounding rather than intrusion. Slowly move your fingers in tiny circles along that soft ridge of muscle. Notice him exhale unconsciously, his nervous system beginning to relax. To deepen the effect, lean forward and let your lips barely touch the space just above his waistband along the spine. Kiss not to excite, but to calm. The paradox of a sensation that's neither purely sexual nor purely soothing activates his entire system. This confusion creates a craving. His body seeks more because it cannot define what occurred. Symbolically, the lower back is a submissive space, historically where warriors carried vulnerability unseen. By kissing it, you communicate silently. You don't need to protect yourself with me. That message resonates more powerfully than any seductive line. This is not dominance, it's safety. When a man feels secure enough to surrender, he truly loses himself. Timing is crucial. Never begin with this area. It's intimate and revealing. Use it once tension is established, trust is present, and his body is receptive. A lower back kiss is a reward, a punctuation mark in your connection, signaling. You're home. Here's the rhythm. Rest your hand for a few seconds. Let your fingers spread lightly. Trace the spine downward. And pause just above the waistband. Pause. Let him sense your breath before your lips even touch his skin. That brief hesitation creates anticipation. Then place a slow, deliberate kiss. Hold it. Pull back. Wait. Allow the silence to speak. When you withdraw, keep your hand in place, fingers resting lightly. Don't move. Simply breathe with him. You're syncing your nervous systems, two bodies communicating wordlessly. That is intimacy on a primal level. When you eventually step back, walk past him, maybe glance over your shoulder with a smile, you leave him suspended in the lingering mix of arousal and emotional safety. It's a potent feeling. Many women underestimate how much men crave this. Society tells them to stay strong, to guard themselves, but in private, men long for a space where they can simply exist without performing. Your kiss on his lower back grants that permission. It silently says, you can relax here. Once he experiences this with you, he will seek that feeling again and again, because it is rarer than passion. It is peace, and peace is the deepest form of desire. Hussey often says attraction isn't about proving your worth. It's about showing presence. A kiss on the lower back is pure presence. It communicates, I see the man beneath the armor. That is what makes you unforgettable. So the next time you are close, after laughter or a quiet pause between kisses, let your hand find that spot. Don't make it a gesture. Make it a message. Touch him there, as if telling his body, you can release now. Kiss gently, sealing a promise rather than marking territory. Then pull back before he expects it. This is how you create desire that lingers after the moment, deepening in the silence that follows. The art of connection isn't in intensity. It's in how safe you make that intensity feel. That's the secret no one tells you. The lower back is where a man lets go of control and becomes real. The key to these 3 touch points isn't memorizing a routine. It's weaving them into moments naturally so they feel instinctive. When you master this, you move from performing affection to embodying it. The aim isn't to overwhelm him, but to guide him into a rhythm where body, breath, and emotion align. Each spot carries a unique emotional tone. Behind the ear sparks curiosity and surrender, a whisper before the storm. The inner wrist builds anticipation, the pulse that says, I feel you. The small of the back offers resolution, a signal that it's safe to let go. Combined in sequence, these touches tell a sensory story. It starts with intrigue, grows into connection, and ends in trust. This is what anchors a man emotionally to you, not just physically. Where most women lose the effect is overthinking. They focus on timing, sequence, and reactions, asking, "Did he like that? Should I move here?" The moment you enter your head, the connection fades. Men sense this instantly. What captivates him isn't perfect technique, it's your presence. It's the way you immerse yourself fully in the moment, in him, and in the space between breaths. Forget rigid formulas. Think of touch as a conversation. Listen to his body. When his breath catches, that's agreement. When his shoulders soften, that's trust. When he quiets, that's surrender. That's how you know your message lands. Introduce these 3 spots gradually. Let each become its own memory. Perhaps the first time you linger behind his ear while whispering something that makes him smile. The next time you're sitting together, lightly trace his wrist as he talks. Later, as your connection deepens, place your hand on the small of his back, holding him gently until his body relaxes. You're teaching him gradually that your touch signals calm, desire, and comfort. Then you'll notice subtle changes. He'll start reaching for you first, his hand finding your wrist when you walk, his back angling toward you when he stands close, his head tilting slightly, offering space behind his ear. This is his body responding to the map you've created. Each gesture reinforces the previous one. That's the point where attraction evolves into imprinting. But here's the essential truth. These techniques only work when they come from a genuine desire to give, not to get. When your energy says, "I want to make you feel safe, seen, and desired," his body responds. When it says, "I want to make you obsessed with me," tension builds instead. Humans naturally detect intention through microsignals. You can't fake authentic care. The same touch can either deepen intimacy or push him away. It's your intention that shapes the outcome. Ironically, when you stop trying to manipulate his feelings, he becomes more drawn to you. He no longer feels led. He feels he's discovering something meaningful alongside you. True attraction, as Hussey teaches, isn't about chasing validation. It's about embodying value. Here, value means creating emotional depth without expecting anything in return. When you're with him, slow down. Allow silence to fill the space between words. Pauses are where tension and intimacy live. When your lips touch his skin, focus on connection rather than reaction. You're not just kissing him, you're speaking to the part of him that's tired of pretending to be strong, composed, or invincible. In your presence, he should feel free to unwind. That's the gift you offer, and that's what makes him stay. These moments transform not just him, but you. When you touch with full awareness and presence, you stop chasing attention. Your power comes not from how attractive you are, but from how deeply you can make someone feel. You become magnetic, not by trying to draw him in, but because you are grounded in calm confidence. That energy pulls him closer repeatedly. So the next time you're close enough to touch him, don't focus on impressing him, focus on feeling him. Let every breath, pause, and brush of your lips reflect the woman you are, grounded, attentive, effortlessly captivating. Move slowly enough to be remembered, and softly enough to be missed. Ultimately, these intimate gestures aren't about his body. They're about teaching him what true connection feels like. The kind that lingers, haunts, and makes him whisper your name without realizing it. That isn't manipulation. That is the power of presence, the art of leaving a lasting imprint on his mind.